Turn our attention to Liga MX, where we had the quarterfinal second legs over the past weekend in the Clásico Regio. Rayados beat Tigres in the Mexico City Derby. Cruz Azul advanced past Pumas. In the 3-6 affair, Toluca Chivas. Chivas won 1-0 over the two legs, and Club America and Pachuca played to a couple draws, but America advances thanks to their position in the table, which we know is the tiebreaker down in Liga MX. And here's a look then at the semifinals: America against Chivas and Cruz Azul against Rayados. All right, Herc, of the teams that advanced, who do you think looked the best?
All right, out of those teams, we're going with America, Chivas, Cruz Azul, Monterrey. I'm going to go with Cruz Azul, and it has a lot to do with who they played in the moment of who they were playing. Listen, they went into Seul, which is a very complicated place to play, if not ask your Club America, and they put a beat down in the first leg against a team that hadn't lost in the last 6 games. In fact, a team that was so good defensively, they've only given up 2 goals in that time in those 6 games, and it was a 2-0 scoreline. And forgive me if I tell you that it could have been 6-7.
Yeah.
It was downright ridiculous how much they dominated. And then with a team like Pumas, who was so much better in the second leg, that threw everything at them, including the kitchen sink, when they got their goal, this Cruz Azul team didn't crumble. They didn't go into de facto we defend mode. They stayed true to their DNA, to Anselmi's DNA, and they attacked. And they were free-flowing, and they kept pressing, pushing numbers up, and they got their goal, and they got another. This was an entertaining game because of the way Cruz Azul plays. They never renounced that style. This was as dominant of a 2-series performance as we've seen in this playoffs, in these Liguillas. For my money, this is a team that looked the best.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that first leg. I don't think anybody in any of the quarterfinal games that we saw looked better than Cruz Azul against Pumas in that first leg. Some of that, though, I gotta think was the Pumas defense. I mean, it was one-way traffic right down the middle of that back line, and Pumas could not stop them. If not for Cruz Azul's somewhat terrible finishing, honestly, in that game, it would have been a much worse score.
Julio Gonzalez had a big showing.
I look at who they beat, and Pumas, at the end of the day, they're repechaje. They're a play-in team. So I gotta dock Cruz Azul some points for that. I'm going Rayados, because to me, if you can knock Tigres out of a cup competition, you've done something very, very special. I did not expect this Rayados team to do this. I got to be honest with you, Herc. I never saw it coming. I definitely didn't see them winning the first leg at Tigres. I think that gave them a massive advantage. And then even in the second leg, right, where Gignac gets the goal to tie things up on aggregate, we know that the tiebreaker still favors Rayados. Rayados didn't hold on. They went out and got another goal from Jordi Cortizo, and that put them in the driver's seat. I was impressed. I thought at that point when Gignac scored, I thought, here comes Tigres. Here comes Tigres. If Rayados get through, it's going to be hanging by the nails, barely. Instead, they went out, got the goal. They got it done safely. And I think now, Herc, the attention turns to your Tigres. What happened? What happened? Because we have dogged Tano Ortiz for not being able to get out of quarterfinals, cup competition forever. And now he beats Tigres? Where does that leave your squad? Where does that leave him?
We've not dogged Tano Ortiz for not getting out of quarterfinals. He always gets out of quarterfinals. It's the semifinal, 5 in a row.
Knockout competition.
Hold on.
Now he can't beat anybody.
Hold on. First.
At Tigres he can.
First, let's talk about Rayados, okay? Rayados went into El Volcán, where it's a very difficult place to play, and they were a Jekyll and Hyde showing, but when they showed out and they won, and I thought it was convincing. Put a lot of question marks on this Tigres team, okay? And when everybody spoke about the old-timers not getting it done anymore, this generational change, which has already happened, by the way, okay? It was those same old-timers. It was Gignac. It was Guido Pizarro, who had an knee operation in April, who showed out. It was the likes of Diego Reyes. It was the likes of Gorriarán. It was those guys in the most crucial of moments who were there, and it was the young guys, and this was so frustrating, who collapsed. It was the Marcelo Flores, who was a no-show in the second leg, couldn't get on the field. Luis Quiñones, who's still young enough, who you thought would have done something. Osiel Herrera, who I've been dying for to get on the field, who couldn't do anything. Nico Ibanez, where is the Golden Boot winner? Where is that guy that dominated Liga MX? Now in the shadow, Gignac, he gets on the field. You don't even know he's there.
Rotting on the bench.
No, trust me, he's not, because when he has played, he's been a ghost. Samir. Like, you could not get him off the field sooner. But I am with you. The moment Gignac scores that goal in the second leg, you're thinking, oh, los fantasmas. Oh, here comes the skeleton in Monterrey's
Yep.
closet. The ever so faithful showing for
Meltdown. Here
Rayados.
comes the meltdown.
And then it's Dan Ortiz with one tactical adjustment, okay? 2 players go out, 2 players come in. Of those players going out, Brandon Vasquez of the U.S. men's national team player pool, who has not had the fondest of closures, I should say, in the last couple of games. A guy that's
Great
very
start
capable.
to the season, cooled off.
Correct. A guy is very capable of putting the ball in the back of the net, but he sees that he's not doing so well against Guido Pizarro. And Elis Berterrama up top, Jordi Cortizo underneath with Sergio Canales. And Jordi Cortizo, if you're telling me there are 30 players in the Mexican national team that are better than Jordi Cortizo, if you're telling me that's the truth, 1, I call bullshit. 2, Mexico will be more than fine at Copa America. If that's the case, if 30 players are better than Jordi Cortizo for the Mexican national team, you guys will be fine.
Here's hoping. All right, we've talked about who looked the best and a little bit about who looked the worst because we talked about Tigres.